because I feared them, and then looks like there's an invisible bone pillar right there. How broken is this ability? I just got blocked by an invisible bone pillar right there. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about perhaps the most broken legendary item in the game, Exhuman's Backbone here, and showcasing the power of the Necro in PvP specifically. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to be jumping into a Battlegrounds match today and showcasing the power of this bad boy. So what this is it turns your bone wall into a bone pillar. This is the indicator for it. And I want to just showcase how simple this thing is. For people who are on the opposite side, not Necros, I never knew what the indicator looked like, what it was like to actually cast this. So I wanted to show the indicator and what it's like to actually see the range and the way it is from the Necro's point of view, because this is one thing that you have to play around all the time. And because this ability is instantaneous, meaning as soon as I cast it, it goes up, and it knocks in the entire circle around you, not just the center, it's just some of the most absurd CC I've ever seen in the game. Between this and the Shiver Sent Stare Wizard Frost, Ray of Frost helmet, these two are the strongest legendary items in PvP in the entire game, in my opinion. Keep in mind that this is 3 charges. It creates a slow field after and a terrain, and not just knocks you up and damages you. So very, very strong. The one thing I will note about this compared to the Ray of Frost, and I would say perhaps maybe it's second, is because there's a huge desync issue with Battlegrounds right now. If any of you have noticed and you've played PvP before, what happens is if you cast an ability, your ability will end up behind them, even if it locks on. Like my basic never lands. Sometimes I could cast Bone Pillar on top of them and it won't land because the game actually has them on the screen in one place, but as their hitbox in another, which is a little bit of an issue, whereas the Ray of Frost auto locks on. So, that is a little bit in favor of the Wizard. Overall, I think after playing some Necro in PvP, I believe I'm like bronze 2 right now, but that's because the Immortal Reign swapped over. And so really I've been just playing my first Battleground matches outside of like playing Vault and things like that. We should be in a full Legend game basically though. You can see here Legend, pretty much Legend on their entire team. So definitely not a particularly easy game or anything like that. We are running a pretty standard Necro build outside of Bone Pillar. We have No Mouth Face, the knock up Bone Spikes. We have Grave Dirt Spalders, something like that. Bone Armor is going to give us CC immunity. Proximal Fear is going to make our Wraith form fear people. Blight Maul is going to give us poison. I don't have an offhand at all. And then we have the Bone Pillars. It's been taking so long to get these legendary items. One thing I will note is after playing some PvP, freeze does not count as a loss of control in terms of Bone Pillar or Bone Armor here. If you have Bone Armor and a Wizard hits you with an invisible Ray of Frost beam, you will get frozen. It's the dumbest thing I've seen since swapping over to Necro, besides the Bone Pillar itself. So definitely something that I think should be absolutely changed, and that should absolutely count as a loss of control, therefore being basically removed by the Bone Armor. So there's the first Bone Pillar. You can just see how powerful this thing is. And one thing to note about the Bone Pillar is that there's no diminishing returns. You can see there I knocked them up here, and then 3 seconds later I can knock you up again. And you could do while they're in Gladiator, so it makes it very difficult to kind of run away after Gladiator procs. Such a strong ability here. Go ahead and knock up this Necro here, proc their Gladiator, very nice. We just got really, really heavily damaged by a Wizard back there, I believe. Looks like another Necro here. Let's try to knock them up again and just finish them off. Phoenix Ashes proc, there we go. There's a nice kill. So you can just see how powerful this completely nasty ability here is. We just got one shot. We're gonna proc the Bone Pillar and then just drop a couple of fears here. They might be able to Bone Pillar us. We are just constantly feared in our Gladiator here, but we just got double Bone Pillared as well. So we got double feared, double Bone Pillared, which, it happens. And then we're slowed when we spawn because a Bone Pillar was right underneath us. You just see how powerful this ability is. And that's really all I want to showcase here, is just how game-changing this single ability can be. Looks like someone had spawned here. We're getting CC'd a little bit. Let's proc our Bone Armor. Drop a double Bone Pillar into a double knockup. Nice double kill right there. Very, very nice how strong that was. You can see I knocked up. The one was right here, one was right there, and you knocked them both up with Bone Pillar. That's just absurd. In my opinion, Bone Pillar should have some sort of indicator, or maybe some sort of way where you have to hit the center. Looks like we got double feared again by those double Necros that spawned. Trying to spawn camp him a little bit, but we got double feared by the double necro. If it wasn't a double CC like that, I probably could have survived, but definitely can't avoid that. Go back in. The Bone Pillar also does something that no other ability in the game does, really, and that's just absolutely completely make people not be able to run through choke points because it creates terrain, which is just absolutely absurd. Let's proc Bone Armor here and then just drop some damage. I'm gonna go ahead and run in with Wraith Form here, double knock up into, or double fear into double knock up there, really nice. I am running a 6-piece Grace set from my Wizard, which is a little awkward. I don't necessarily want that. I do want some sort of Feasting Baron / Mount Banks, but I don't have a full Mount Banks set yet, so I'm working on that. We're gonna go ahead and just drop a Bone or a Wraith Form here. Looks like I got feared. That's a weird interaction there, because I feared them, and then looks like there's an invisible Bone Pillar right there. How broken is this ability? I just got blocked by an invisible Bone Pillar right there. Just to show you guys, not only is it the strongest ability, but it's also literally the most broken and figuratively the most broken. So that is just absolutely absurd. I thought I was going to get away, just walk away, but there's an invisible Bone Pillar right there blocking my way. That is just the most annoying thing, and I'm glad I could do it to other people. We're going to go ahead and just jump in, and wow, look at the damage with the Grace set. We just absolutely murdered their whole squad, 1v4 there, and then we're going to go ahead and just jump in. We're going to try to Bone Pillar this guy as soon as they jump out. That was weird. That should have definitely hit. I'm not sure why that didn't hit, to be honest. That should have definitely hit. Looks like our Gladiator got procced. Oh, I'm a little irritated. That definitely should have hit on my screen. That they popped out of Wraith Form as soon as I dropped the Bone Pillar. I think that was perfect timing, but it looks like it may have been a little bit of a desync issue with Battlegrounds. But that was an insane burst amount of damage. Grace 6-piece is good no matter on what class. The only problem is that you're not going to get a ton of value from like 2 or 4-piece sets. I am getting a little value because of the poison damage on my Bone Spear, which is not bad. But definitely went on Mount Bank set. Still, absurd that I got killed by an invisible Bone Pillar right there. A little irritated at that one. There's just so many bugs in this game between Invisible, Ray of Frost, Invisible Bone Pillar. You kind of have to take advantage of it all if you're playing one of those classes. And look at that damage with the Bone Pillar, just absolutely one-shotting that guy. There's someone's coming in with a fear. You can just see there, we just knocked this guy up. They're going to fear us. We're going to jump into our own Wraith Form here and then fear them. Drop a Bone Pillar. Drop of Bone Spikes. They're very strong here. They have 102k HP, which puts them at about like 3.6k resonance, I believe. So very, very strong players on the enemy team here. One thing also to note is that if you're defending, Bone Pillar just goes way, way higher up in value, as well as Ray of Frost and the Wizard as well, because it makes it so easy to control. Literally, you can drop Bone Pillars on the idol, and then people have to kind of really play around them, and you can't just sit on the idol. So it makes it very difficult for the attackers as well. We're going to pop our Bone Armor here before we enter, drop a Bone Pillar, drop a knock-up, go in with the Fear, drop another knock-up, and really, really nice combo there on those two. Drop another Bone Pillar here, and this guy's going to die as well. We can drop another Bone Pillar as soon as they're going to spawn out of here. Very nice timing there. We're going to go in. It looks like they're going to try to 1v4 us here. We can fear them. We can knock them up. We can knock them up again, and really nice combo there. Looks like I just walked through that Bone Pillar. That was a little awkward, but we're going to barely get out, which is really, really nice. Still, super nice ability here. One of the most strong abilities in the entire game, and I can just not get enough of this ability when I'm using it. Looks like I got feared. I have no idea what just feared me. I think I got feared by someone in Wraith form, but I just couldn't see them. I was in Wraith form myself. I have no idea what feared me there. So I think I got hit by an invisible Wraith form, which is something that also has been happening recently. If you go into Wraith form on Necro, sometimes you can be invisible. So that is another bug that has been happening recently. But overall, just pretty easy game, to be honest. They do have a couple strong players. We as well have a couple strong players. But overall, just completely taking care of this game, really. I'm going to drop a Bone Pillar. Really nice combo there on these guys. And drop another Bone Pillar as this guy is spawning. Looks like we're frozen by some invisible Ray of Frost here. I'm literally getting frozen by some sort of something. I have no idea what. I didn't see the Ray of Frost, but I guess I might have gotten frozen. We're really running in there and just having a good time. I don't think we can lose this game, so I'm kind of just wanting to go in there and fight. But definitely a lot of crazy things. Honestly, the more unplayable an ability is, the stronger it is in PvP. And we got feared. I'm not sure why we didn't fear them, but they feared us. That was a little strange. And then we just got one shot. We went back-to-back one shots here. We were just getting absolutely demolished on these guys. We should play a little bit smarter here as we're running in. But again, it just doesn't really matter at this point. We're so far ahead. We're going to go ahead and win anyways. We can play a little bit smarter. We're going to play with the bone pillar here, trying to knock this guy up. There's a kill, pretty much. Knock these two up and then jump in with Wraith form. Really, really nice. We can drop a bone spikes here. I think we should be good. Ooh, looks like everyone's on top of us. Can we drop another bone pillar? Oh, just too much CC. We got two people. I said we're going to play a little smarter, but we ended up running in and just jumping in and trying to fight these guys. The CC chains in this game are a little absurd. This is why I think this ability is a little too strong. Because there's no diminishing returns or global cooldown on CC, and not every class has CC immunity. And on top of that, some things don't even count as CC when it should. For example, the freeze ray from Wizard just will CC you through the bone armor, which is a little strange. So definitely a little strange there. And then even like our bone pillar goes through bone armor. I just want to showcase this again if I can. But if you guys saw there, I was trying to showcase when we were hitting that guy with bone armor. They got CC'd while they had bone armor on. Which again, that means that this doesn't count as a loss of control effect. Very, very silly. So definitely a fun build here. We have 10 deaths. Obviously, as I always play here, I'm a little bit of a reckless player, just having fun. But just to showcase, it was a very simplistic match. Not super try hard here. Just wanted to showcase the bone pillar for anyone that's not a necro. And some of their players, I think, were a little bit stronger. I saw some people with like 102k HP, but these two were pretty free to play, honestly. This one maybe 3k resonance, yeah, about 3k. I'm not sure what the other necro was. This guy was 1300. I think this guy was about 2.6k. They must have really heavily focused in on life, which isn't a bad idea. This is actually a really solid build. If you're going to go full on necro, you can go with the mount bank set with a lot of life, and that's a really nice strategy. Something I want to do once I get a full mount bank set. Our team was 1900 resonance. We had, what was this, like 2000? Yeah, 1800. Let's just check another one here. We had 3500 and I was 3k. So kind of balanced. I think we were a little stronger than them, which makes sense. Overall, fun match. How insane is Bone Pillar? Let me know what your least favorite thing to go up against in PvP is. I know that for me, it's definitely Ray of Frost #1. Bone Pillar #2, and the problem with Bone Pillar is that you can't react to it. It doesn't count as a loss of control sometimes. It's a very, very annoying ability. So there you go. I wanted to showcase it from the Necro's perspective because I think it's just so absurd, and it helps people kind of play around it if they know what they're getting into, if they've never seen it before. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you for the next video.